This is the cheese book tag. It's a BRR Quest for the Classic book tags. The original tag was by Josh at Literary Gladiators. He was very kind and invited me to do his tags. And this one was originally published in January 29th of 2015. I'll provide a link below. So, I am a Vermonter who's descended from generations of dairy farmers. And our original members of the co-op, that is Cabot cheese, that some of you may have seen around. And then there's other cheese makers all around me, all around this part of Vermont, all around all of Vermont. So, near and dear to my heart. So, number one is processed cheese. If you like processed cheese, American cheese, any variety, or Velveeta. A book that is a guilty pleasure. If you do not, a book that is renowned but you feel is overrated. As you can imagine, I'm going to go with the book that is renowned. I love that word, renowned. And is overrated. And that would be this. This is probably a better page to show you. Aptly titled. This is the first American edition of J.M. Coetzee's Disgrace. And it was published in 1999. So for a man of his age, 52, divorced, he has, to his mind, solved the problem of sex rather well. On Thursday afternoons, he drives to Greenpoint. Punctually at 2 p.m., he presses the buzzer at the entrance of the Windsor Mansion, speaks his name, and enters. Waiting for him at door number 113 is Soroya. I'll skip some of the other. Let me follow up with that. Soroya is tall and slim with long black hair and dark liquid eyes. Technically, he's old enough to be your father, but then technically, one can be a father at 12. So the entire literary, and they love to call themselves literary because they own it with judgment, I guess. The entire genre of the middle-aged fella who is, struggling because of this sort of thing and taking advantage, in my opinion, is of no use to me. I have no interest in it. So, not a lot of people will probably like that, but that's just the way I feel about it. I don't need to read about it. Number two, Emmentaler, a book that has too many holes in the plot or structure. I only have two of them left. I used to have Chariots of the Gods, and I've had these books for a long time. I have a undergraduate degree in archaeology, that part of it. This is bunk. I'm not an astronomer or a space scientist or any of that stuff, but I also have been through the Bermuda Triangles on a ship, many, many times, and that's bunk. So this is bunk. Worst part is it's fun to read. So Eric von Däniken, just about anything he ever wrote. And the next one, let's see, number three, Mozzarella, a book that is rightfully renowned. This is one that some people seem to have trouble with. I absolutely love. I love the entire book. I love the descriptions of whaling. I love everything about it. It's worth spending your time on. This one's a beautiful edition. It's the Easton Press. Yeah. The next one, let's see, is let's see. We just said mozzarella. Sharp Cheddar, number 4. A book that is great despite sparking a sudden reaction, which could be fury, fear, tears, or a punch in the gut. Probably depending on where you go on this one, you can find any of those things. This is the Complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Some of my favorites would be The Cask of Amontillado, The Telltale Heart, Fall House of Usher. I love The Raven. I love Annabelle Lee. What else we got here? Lenore. Yeah, there's just so much in one volume. I mean, I don't like to read them all in a row or anything like that. I just dip in and out. Let's see. Muenster, the book that should not be judged by its cover or face value. Its cover is horrible. Harry Harrison, the stainless steel rat gets drafted. These guys look like they have lozenges on their heads. I love the stainless steel rat novels for fun. So they have the stainless steel rat is born, the stainless steel rat for president, the stainless steel rat wants you. This is the stainless steel rat gets drafted. It's a Bantam Spectra book, New York, 1987. So Harry Harrison has entertained, amused, and captivated readers of science fiction for more than a quarter century with his stainless steel rat, James Bolivar Slippery Jim DeGrease. In his day, the rat has saved the universe, foiled villains of every stripe, and even run for president. In this one, now the rat must avenge the murder of his mentor in crime, the bishop. So, a very good cover. Should I mention the artist? That's probably cruel. I probably shouldn't mention them. I won't mention them. Then, let's see, number 6, Parmigiano Reggiano, a book that is the complete package. I looked for a book that had a title that said The Complete. So William Blake, The Complete Poems, Penguin, and this one was originally published in '77, but this is the 9th printing. Quite a thick thing. It's nice that it's complete poems, but to be Blake, you probably have to have the complete illustrations. So, moving right along. Let's see. Number 7, Feta, a book that leaves its mark, or has a strong message. Well, for Americans and for others. Thomas Paine, Collected Writings, Library of America, includes Common Sense, The Crisis, Rights of Man, Age of Reason, pamphlets, articles, and letters. And then, Roquefort, number 8, a book that you feel deserved greater recognition. Well, because I just did Library of America, I chose this one. It's sort of a follow-up. And that's John Lloyd Stevens. And this one's Incidents of Travel in Central America, Chiapas, and Yucatan. One of the English language's great travel writers. Early archaeologist, pioneer, entrepreneur, traveler to ancient Egypt and the Nile, and Russia, and Greece. Just a great traveler and a great read. His Central America stuff gets quite a bit of attention, but I really believe Library of America, those are Catherwood, his partner's illustrations, should really publish everything he did in a nice big volume. And then, Asiago, a book that was beyond your expectations. And I just read this, and I think it's going to be one of my favorites of the year. Year's almost over. American Philosophy, a Love Story by John Kay, about finding the library of long ago type philosopher in the mountains of New Hampshire. It's just a fantastic personal memoir and exploration of American philosophy. And next, Goethe, a book that was light-hearted delight. Now this is the third of these volumes put out by Bean Books. It's A. Bertram Chandler's Galactic Courier, and these are the John Grimes saga. Chandler was a merchant mariner, and he sort of transfers that to space, and these are lighthearted and really great stories. This particular one has novels The Star Courier, To Keep the Ship, Matilda's Stepchildren, and Starloot. And I need to find all these other Bean Book paperbacks because these are fun to read. Moving right along. Limburger, a book that proved to be too much to endure. Another one where a lot of folks may not agree with me. This is Paul Auster, Oracle Knight. I've tried to read Paul Auster. Henry Holt and Company, New York. This is first edition of 2003. Several months into his recovery from a near-fatal illness, 34-year-old novelist Sidney Orr enters a stationery shop in Cobble Hill section of Brooklyn and buys a blue notebook. I'm not always, in literary fiction, a big fan of the heroes almost indistinguishable from the author. Other people are, and that's fine. But for me, these types of things are oftentimes just, I'm not interested. Let's see. Brie, a book that gave you a warm, mushy feeling. That would be this. Gladys Tabor, probably, as far as I know, almost forgotten now. Still Meadow Calendar. Drawings by Sidney Corrin, J.B. Lippincott Company, Philadelphia, New York. This was published in 1967. This is the second printing. Here's the first report from Still Meadow in 5 years. Another invitation to behold the seasons and meet the author's family, friends, and neighbors, and her dogs. Gladys Tabor's large and loyal following will be glad to be welcomed back to her peaceful Connecticut valley with its snow and sunshine, and to her comfortable old farmhouse with tall lilacs nodding their heavy blooms in May and maples kindling with color in October, with savory dishes cooking in the kitchen and books all over the house. It can't get any better than that. So I love Gladys Tabor. And then as a little bit of a dessert piece to Gladys, same. We're still on number 12, Brie. This I found a while back, and it's called Especially Spaniels. And it's Especially Spaniels by Gladys Tabor with photographs by Jill, who is Eleanor S. Mayer. This is in the McCrae Smith Company, Philadelphia, and it was published in 1945. It's a wartime book. The complete edition is produced in full compliance with the government's regulations for conserving paper and other essential materials. So if you see those things right there, that's often what you'd see with these wartime books. Look. So it's a book about spaniels. How do you beat that? So if we're going to do that warm, mushy feeling, I mean, it's almost any picture, and I loved how she wrote. I could read her books all the time. I don't have any but these two left. Over the years, I've owned many of them. So we end up on Gladys Tabor. Can't beat that. All right, so for a bonus, share your favorite cheese. Well, we went over to Cabot Cheese, an outlet right up the road. I took some video of some of the samples with tags that say what they are, so most of those are my favorite. Now all I need to do is tag. So I'm going to tag Lukash at Lukash's Books, Mel's Bookland Adventures, book reviews from Peg, and BiblioAtlas. So thank you, BookTube. And oh, by the way, before I hit this button, thank you, Josh.